The NOK civilization, Nigeria's ancient tech geniuses. In every land, there are people history almost forgot, but Earth remembers. Long before skyscrapers pierced the Lagos skyline, before the first page of Nigeria's colonial chapter was written, there was a people, masters of metal, prophets of clay, who lived, dreamed, and built in the heart of West Africa. Their story was buried under red soil until time and curiosity unearthed their genius. This is the tale of the NOK civilization, Nigeria's ancient tech geniuses, whose brilliance still echoes from the earth, where the NOK walked. Let us go back, way back, to a time when there were no countries, only communities, and culture was not carried on paper, but in practice. The NOK people lived between 1000 BCE and 300 CE across what we now call Kaduna, Plateau, and Nasarawa states. Farmers, herders, iron workers. They built homes from mud and straw, carved pathways between hills, and left behind signs of trade and travel. They were not a forgotten people, they were a foundation people. Clay that speaks. But what truly immortalized the NOK was their art. Art of clay that sculpted faces with wide hollow eyes, expressions frozen in time, hairstyles that told stories, jewelry carved in astonishing detail. These weren't mere decorations. Scholars believed they had spiritual, ancestral, or ceremonial meaning. Each statue possibly represented a figure of power, a protector, or a portal to the divine. From small heads to full figurines, their terracotta works are among the oldest known sculptures in sub-Saharan Africa. The NOK did not leave behind books, they left behind faces, and those faces still speak. Iron in their hands, fire in their minds. Now imagine this. In an age when iron was still a mystery to much of the world, the NOK had already mastered mythology. They built clay furnaces, some buried deep into the ground, where iron ore was melted using bellows and controlled airflow. They understood heat, they understood pressure, and they turned rock into tools. With iron sickles, they cleared forests. With iron hoes, they farmed more efficiently. With iron tips, they hunted faster. And all of this in a time long before any European ever set foot on this soil. The North went behind, they were ahead. A global puzzle unearthed. But how did the world discover the North? It was in the 1940s, during routine mining operations near Jos, that something strange appeared. A clay head with intricate features unlike anything local miners had seen. British archaeologists were summoned, and what followed was the start of an academic gold rush. More statues were found, buried under swell and silence for nearly 2,000 years. As they emerged, scholars began comparing them to rocks from Egypt, Greece, and Mesopotamia. Many couldn't believe such sophistication could exist independently in ancient sub-Saharan Africa. But indeed, the NOK were not borrowing, they were innovating. Plundered legacy. Sadly, like many great African stories, the NOK legacy became a commodity. Before protections were put in place, hundreds of artifacts were smuggled out, sold to collectors in Europe and America. Today, many NOK statues sit behind glass in foreign museums, their history fragmented, their meaning disconnected from the land they came from. And so the question remains, who truly owns the past, and how much of it have we lost? The NOK in us. But perhaps not all is lost. The spirit of NOK still lives on. In every Nigerian artist who sculpts with soul, in every blacksmith who bends metal with rhythm and reverence, in every child who is taught to be proud of where they come from. We often look to pyramids to find African greatness, but the NOK reminds us sometimes the genius lies beneath your feet, in hills, in clay, in silence, waiting to be uncovered. They remind us that Africa's story didn't begin with slavery, it began with silence, with skill, with sculpture. Echoes from the red earth. The NOK didn't write epics, they didn't conquer kingdoms, but they carved eternity from clay. They forged the future with fire. And now it is our turn to tell their story, to raise them from the dust and place them where they belong, not as a footnote, but as a foundation.